Welcome back to part 3 of the Portal House with Tulsa Football. My name is Jeremy Poplin, joined with a special guest this time. The Director of On-Campus Recruiting, Erynn Love, is our guest. Erynn, thank you for joining us this opening day of the Portal season. So let's just start first with your basic title. For those that may not know, in today's college football, there are a lot of different positions now across the landscape. So what is your specific role within Tulsa Football as the Director of On-Campus Recruiting?
So my role reaches a lot of different things. I feel like I dip my hand into many different jars, but to start off with, I am the event planner for all recruits coming onto campus, whether it's transfers, high schoolers, whatever you name it, guests, anything. I'm really the go-to person as far as what the campus looks like, what best represents our university, and just truly the vibes of our staff, honestly.
Anyone that has spent time in this city, whether it be for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the one thing they always come back to is the people. And you want to try to represent that as much as possible in a place like this, and also just in general recruiting. How do you do that from your position?
I think just from moving from so many different schools, this is the one place that I felt like when I first came on campus on my first day, so nervous, like I made so many friends. And I found people that actually knew that it's hard making new friends. It's hard figuring out a new city and selling a new city, especially when I got here and I had official visits the same week that I got here. So it was kind of a key thing for me to incorporate the people because they make up everything here. Like it bleeds through and through the university, and I've seen it from the moment I stepped on campus, and I just try to emphasize that whenever I bring people on campus as well.
So you have felt it when you've brought people through yourself, but when you bring people on campus, does it give you a good feeling with what you've represented or how you've presented the people and how you've presented the city when someone comes and says, you know what, I think you were dead on the money with that? How does that make you feel?
It really makes me feel accomplished because when I first got into this career, I truly was all here for the kids. I loved hearing the stories. I loved the many different backgrounds. A lot of people had never even gotten on flights before, let alone to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so I think the narrative that a lot of people misread of Tulsa is it's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing here. It's cow fields and dust, and that's just not necessarily true. I think the city has so much to give and it continues to grow, and it just shows like the continuous growth that we can have within our program. And I think we're showcasing that with this portal season and having these guys and having this whole entire thing it's amazing to even have the opportunity to do.
I'm fascinated by your job in general because not only do you have to be a people person and connect with the people that you're bringing on campus, but you're part event coordinator, you're part interior decorator as well. Like, what's your background and where did your love and passion for this come from?
So I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I grew up around football my whole entire life. My dad is a diehard football fan, and I knew nothing else. I was in college and I needed money. I was a broke college student, and there was a certain program where you could host recruits during game days. And so I started doing that, and when I got my first commit, it just felt so amazing to actually see them on campus and be playmakers. And I knew that I wanted to continue to change the narrative of guys' lives. Like football beyond the game itself has so much to give, and I feel like nobody really thinks about beyond the coaches, beyond the whistle and all the other external things. Like it truly has so many different elements of people that incorporate the whole entire program, and I loved that. I loved the fact of having those people that you never even thought of that was impactful in their story and being that person. And also helping people find places to eat is actually kind of fun.
Well, that's funny because the correlation I was going to make is, and this may make sense, it may not, but college football is, you could look at it as a steakhouse. There's the steak, which is the product that you're going there to get and to watch every single time. But part of going and having a nice dinner is also the atmosphere that's created around it, and you're a vital part of that.
Thank you. I try, honestly. I feel like, honestly, when it comes to a lot of dinners and a lot of different things, like recruits want to break bread with their best friend. They want to be able to play the game and hang out and stay up all night and just truly just chill. And that's truly the type of coaches that we have here. And I feel like with that type of environment, I think that's the main thing that we're driving towards. Like, yes, we can do the meetings. Yes, we can talk ball. We have coaches that can do all the things and have made products before. But are you personable? Can you have a conversation with me? Can you talk to my 80-year-old grandma that's also here? Can you push her in a wheelchair? Like, it's just so many different elements that go into a visit that a lot of people don't really necessarily think about. But
so once a player comes here on a visit, and let's say they say, yes, I want this to be my next experience, what happens after that point from your perspective?
so they get to hear from me and be blown up with 50 million text messages. I try to send them a questionnaire where I don't have to ask them as many questions, but from that process, I basically begin with who you're bringing. So I've got to make sure the key things: what are you allergic to? What do you not eat? Where do you want to lay your head? And what do you want to see and what do you want to do? So a lot of the key things that I like to emphasize is I put the whole entire family in group chats, and I'm like, hey guys, this is everybody's visit. What do you guys want to do? What do you guys want to eat? Like, let me know. And I am the key person to make it all happen. As far as travel, I essentially try to orchestrate their flights, which is a task in itself. So that's the second part of my job, is being a travel agent. That's very fun. But from there, once we get the kid booked and we do all the compliance paperwork and we get everybody set, it's really just the fact of putting their itinerary together of what is this kid gonna do? Like, what is his niche? What is gonna make him be like, I wanna go Tulsa? And that's the beauty of my job, is I get to build that, and then I get to put them around people that they can eventually see us spending 4 years with, or 1 year with, or whatever the case may be.
The over-communication part is important, right? Because changes can happen at the last minute. The more that people are informed, the better off that not only they are, but you are as well. So how do you handle living in the moment when so much is going on, when there's that chaos? Trey Lamb says, hey, I kind of thrive in that chaos. How do you live within the chaos that is a transition period like this with this 2-week window?
Yeah, so I think I finally get myself grounded. Like, we've had the dead period for over a month to really reset, and I really take that time and I really prepare myself to be a host, you know? Being on the opposite side of it and being the one that's driving them around, being the one that's talking to them at dinners for however X amount of time and trying to remember everybody's name, it's just a very different experience. And man, I feel like that it's a lot that goes into it. It's part of the process, but the chaos of it, I mean, you just have to slow down. I take it one day at a time, one transfer at a time. I feel like it's a good problem if we're adding another kid, so.
So now that we're in this incredible space, we've talked with Coach Lamb, we've talked with Mason about how this enhances the overall experience. From your perspective though, what does being in a place like this, going through all this work, putting all this together, how does this give you kind of an advantage with bringing players in?
I think it's a selling point that the same way that recruits when coaches are on the road invite them into their home, is simulating the same thing. Like, I want you to break bread with us. I want you to feel at home. I want you to get in line for food and not be a buffet or feel like it's some grand production and we're just trying to do all the fluff. And I really truly feel like the Portal House really cuts all the fluff. It makes it real relationships, it's real effort, and it's just truly like a home vibe. And I really like that.
And it's difficult in a 2-week span, right, to try to get to know someone. We've been referred to as speed dating through this process as well. So does this kind of break down a little bit of the walls and provide more of a home-like atmosphere for these guys to kind of show more of their personality? Is there a little bit of that behind the idea?
I think so. I think a lot of it stems from the fact of nobody wants to spend their entire visit on campus and sitting in meetings all day. I think it's a place where you can have a casual setting, and if you talk about ball, you talk about ball. If you end up playing a video game, like, you can sit here for hours, and it's not like, oh, the lights are going to cut off on us at the stadium because everybody's tired of watching the lights on and the TV screen. So I think it makes it a lot easier in cutting out a lot of external people, and we're able to keep it all internal and cut out a lot of fluff.
You may have to pull Coach Lamb off of the putting green, but with this space that's incredible, how much actually time will be spent here compared to time on campus, also seeing the city in their very limited amount of time that they're visiting?
So everything is staying the same. They're going to still see the campus, they're still going to see the city. I think the main part that we're going to change is where their meals are going to be. So we're going to have a home style dinners here, as well as sometimes breakfast if need be. And we're really going to showcase a lot of just the home style version of it, you know. Really having those home style meals, it's not like you're going to a fancy steak dinner and you don't know what's going to be on your plate, or you can't pronounce half things on the menu. That's not really my style. We can do it, but I feel like a lot of kids, they just rather eat chicken tenders and fries and have a holly jolly little visit. But I think it really showcases that we are different, and I think that's the main thing that we're trying to do here.
What's your favorite part of the process? You seem like a very down-to-earth, approachable person. Is it meeting people, and how does that play a role in?
It's truly the first interaction.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times whenever people meet me, they think I'm also a man. So it's also very hilarious whenever they're like, "You're Erynn?" Wait, I'm like, surprise, I'm not a man. But truly, just being able to have those interpersonal relationships whenever they first get here, and you can put a face to a name, and they hear it through the phone all the time, but I'm truly a different person when you actually sit down and hang out with me. And so I think a lot of people, or a lot of recruits, it surprises them how much that we can have in common and how chill we can truly be.
I've asked this of some of the other people that we've interviewed and had on so far. Are there misconceptions about today's youth, about athletes? You interact with them as much as anyone, right, when they come on campus.
Yeah.
I do feel like that there are some times where maybe they don't get as much credit as what they deserve, because there are truly some special young people that are walking around right now.
True. There's definitely the kids that are out there. Like, if you take the money away, you take the logos away, you take everything apart, and you break down just truly the people that you're interacting with, some schools don't have that. Some schools can't even sit here and articulate a dinner conversation with a potential recruit, but you want this to be your player. This is supposed to be somebody that you're supposed to invest into. I just feel like it's hard to do that whenever you don't have the interpersonal skills, and I truly feel like that's a major part of it.
Is that a bonus for the University of Tulsa, considering the smaller nature of it, and kind of a more intimate setting for the student athletes, and even the student athlete population, to me, is something that I would put in the positive category for that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people could see that our school is a lot smaller and private as a negative, but I definitely don't. Coming from a large university, I loved the fact of having 5 people in my class. Like, that sounds amazing, being able to have that interpersonal connection with my professor and being able to know pretty much everybody within my class coming in. It sounds super interpersonal, and I really loved the fact, like, even just having my students, they see the massive difference within the culture shift of us coming in. And they would have never pictured themselves being in football. They never knew it was even a thing to work in football. And so now it's an amazing part that the kids are also invested, rather if it's recruits that actually play football or if it's the actual student population. Everybody is on the same consensus, and it's actually really enjoyable to see.
So you're in a very competitive business. You talk to a lot of people. How important is it for Tulsa to do something like this and be different, think outside of the box with the Portal House, and what type of positives can come from an experience like this?
I think it's very imperative, just because we're not the biggest school. We might not have all the glamorous things, but we're striving to do so, and this is our first step. So I think that could speak for its own, and truly I'm excited for us to broadcast what our beautiful campus has to offer.
What's the one thing that you promote more than anything when someone walks on campus?
Culture, for sure. The culture of who you're around and the energy that you're around will definitely be a production, and it shows on the field, off the field, through the building. Everybody has to have effort and culture and just be aware, honestly.
Have you got an idea of what this place is going to look like by the time that you guys get done? I mean, you got a bunch of football coaches in there. I mean, it may end up looking like a locker room at some point in time.
I know. I gotta reel it back in sometimes for them. That's also probably another part of the job that's not in the job description.
Yeah, we'll save that for a later part.
Yeah, we'll cut that out.
Erynn, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
That'll do it
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.